Through this series of vision space presentations, I've been trying to propose that we're missing something fundamental with respect to perceptual structure and the relationship we form with the real via that. This would suggest that there's a ghost in our visual processing system, with its derivation in the light array that our current technologies have not been designed to encounter. While it's possible to artificially model the data sets presenting within the phenomenon, it's far more complex to understand how they get there, or to be more precise, how the one that presents across 90% of phenomenal field gets there. We appear to process a capability to present an implicit form of visual awareness that unfolds directly from the light array, this being foundational to who we are. All of this suggests that we have to be taking something other than intensity-related data from the light array. We're looking for a data potential presenting spatial values within a field structure that we as complex biological systems appear to be generating for the purpose. While we can look at the photoreceptors, their functional characteristics, both the individual firing of neurons and the noisy correlated firing patterns, it's clear that these are unlikely to account for the shortfall. Similarly, the two visual pathways are going to be relevant, but there's still something missing. Cell-to-cell communications via retinal Muller cells looks to be a meaningful proposition, so I need to make an accusation. The blue light segment of the spectrum transmits magnetism. If the transmission from environmental electromagnetic radiation to retinal cells contained data, it suggested that this data would be downloaded by the nanoscale operations of the cell nucleus, manifesting or amplifying the magnetic component. This process would then form speckles in the cell nucleus of Muller cells. Could this data potential be realized within perceptual structure in the form of implicit spatial data? There's been speculation that biophotons might link cell nuclei to provide the necessary correlation. This would indicate that biophotons would be loaded with the magnetic-related data in contrast with the electrical intensity-related data of regular photons. The big issue then becomes where the hell the magnetic data is in electromagnetic radiation. What evidence do we have for it and how does it get there? How does the magnetic component of EM get charged as it moves through the magnetized medium of space? Are the heliosphere and the Earth's magnetic field involved? If we are able to replicate the function of nanostructures that amplify the magnetic fields in cell nuclei, then we should be able to encounter the data potential. One of the implications of vision space is that long-distance space travel is going to be problematic if variations in the background medium fluctuate too much. Failure, too weak, could lead to the breakdown of foundational aspects of perceptual structure and even body function. With respect to the missing medium, previously I've tried out the proposition that we could be indirect dark matter detectors. That doesn't mean that I believe in either dark energy or dark matter, but the current model either requires them or revision in our approach. Could these fundamental emissions be related? The other point I tried to make on the back of this is that if we study the structure of vision on an experiential basis, it will help us understand what's involved in us being objective. We can then deploy that understanding to render visible stuff that our current instrumentation does not interface with. The point is that we discover either the matter and energy involved, or that by using the new understanding, the requirement for it falls away. There are no pictures in the visual system, no frames per second, no information structure blur or motion blur, no depth of field. As there are no pictures available to us as we call up our presentations of vision, there's no binocular fusion taking place. Even the advantage of disparity is used in an entirely different way to the existing picture paradigm.